My father paid my fiancé $50,000 to leave me for my cousin. 3 years later, I walked into my brother's wedding with the one thing he never thought I'd have. Just take the money and end it cleanly. Sarah will accept it. She always does what's practical. That was the line my father wrote in the email to my fiancé. I read it at 1:18 in the morning on a Tuesday while sitting in my apartment, half asleep over a spreadsheet. The email was still open on James's laptop when I noticed it. For a moment, I thought I had misunderstood. Then I read the message again, slowly this time. My father had transferred $50,000 to the man I was supposed to marry in 6 months. The arrangement was simple. James would end our engagement and start seeing my cousin Mia instead. My father believed Mia could give him a better life, better connections, a bigger trust fund, prettier wife, and, apparently, a family more worthy of investment. James had replied 3 hours earlier. I care about Sarah, but you're right. Mia opens doors Sarah never could. I remember staring at the screen and noticing something absurd. My quarterly report was still open beside the email. I had been calculating projections for a client worth $20 million. And yet my own value, according to my father, had been settled at $50,000. The apartment was silent except for the refrigerator humming in the kitchen. The engagement invitations had arrived earlier that day. They were still stacked on the dining table. 4 years with James had ended before I even knew the conversation existed. The strangest part was how calm I felt. Not immediately. The shock came first. Then a wave of nausea so strong I had to sit down. But after that, the calm arrived. My father had always said the same thing about me. Sarah is practical. It meant I didn't scream. It meant I didn't cause scenes. It meant I accepted things. Apparently he had based his entire plan on that. The next night I met James for dinner. He had chosen our usual Italian place, the one where he proposed. He was nervous. I could see it in the way he folded and unfolded his napkin. Sarah, he began carefully, I've been doing a lot of thinking. I know, I said. His head snapped up. You know. I know this isn't working for you anymore. The lie slid out of my mouth so easily it frightened me. I've been feeling the same thing. We want different things. I watched relief spread across his face. It was the most honest reaction he'd given me in months. You're being incredibly mature about this, he said. Of course I was. That was the entire point of the arrangement. He was expecting anger, accusations, tears. Instead, I slid my engagement ring across the table. You should be with someone who matches your ambitions, I told him calmly. Someone who can give you the life you want. My father's words. James didn't even notice. I walked out of the restaurant and cried the entire way home. 3 hours of it. Not for James. For the realization that my father had believed I was worth selling. 2 weeks later, I left the country. I had turned down a job in Singapore months earlier because of the wedding. When I called the company back, the CEO offered me the position immediately. Senior accountant at a fintech startup expanding across Southeast Asia. I packed 2 suitcases and left Portland before anyone could ask questions. My father called the night before my flight. This feels impulsive, he said. I think it's practical, I replied. The word tasted different now. He didn't know I had seen the email. I didn't tell him. Some truths are more useful when they stay hidden. Singapore was chaos in the best possible way. The company was small, aggressive, and hungry. No one there knew me as the woman who had been left at the altar. They knew me as the one who solved problems. 6 months later, I was promoted to controller. A year later, I became CFO. By the second year, we were preparing for an IPO. Those years were brutal. 100-hour weeks. Investor calls across time zones. Languages I barely understood becoming part of my daily life. But every day I felt stronger. Not richer yet, just stronger. And strength, I discovered, compounds faster than money. 3 years passed. Then my brother Michael emailed me. I'm getting married. I want you there. I stared at the message for a long time. Going home meant seeing everyone. My father, Mia, James. But Michael had always been the one person in my family who believed in me. So I agreed. There was only one condition. I'm bringing someone. Daniel met me at a conference in Tokyo. He ran a venture capital firm in Hong Kong and had a habit of challenging every assumption I made. It was exhausting and addictive. When I told him about the wedding invitation, he laughed. "This sounds like a social experiment," he said. "Let's go." The rehearsal dinner was held in downtown Portland. Walking into that room felt like stepping into a past life. My mother cried when she saw me. My father shook Daniel's hand and studied him carefully. Mia and James sat together at the far end of the table. They looked older, not wiser, just tired. Dinner was polite and awkward, until my father asked Daniel what he did for a living. "Venture capital," Daniel said. Then he added casually, "Sarah's company went public last year. She actually makes more than I do." Silence dropped across the table. My father stared at me. "You went public?" "Yes." "Why didn't you tell us?" "Because 3 years ago you paid someone to leave me. Because I needed to build something that belonged only to me." "Things moved quickly," I said. Across the table, Mia's smile trembled. James didn't look up. Later my father pulled me aside. "You saw the emails," he said. "Yes." He closed his eyes briefly. "I thought I was helping you." "No," I replied quietly. "You thought you were helping Mia. You put a price on your daughter." He didn't argue. Sometimes silence is the most honest answer a person can give. At the reception the next day, Emma threw the bouquet directly at me. Caught it. The room erupted in cheers. Daniel leaned down beside me. "I was planning to propose next month in Bali," he whispered. "But now I feel like I should ask your permission to continue the plan." "You're ridiculous," I said. "Is that a yes?" "Yes." When the music started again, my father asked me to dance. "I'm proud of you," he said quietly. "Don't take credit," I replied. "You didn't invest in me." He nodded. "I know." But the apology didn't fix anything. Some choices redraw the map of a family permanently. 3 months later Daniel proposed on a beach in Bali. 6 months after that we married in Singapore. 20 guests. The people who mattered. My mother came. My brother came. My father sent a card with a check. I tore up the check. Some debts can't be paid with money. People sometimes ask me if I enjoyed seeing my family's reaction at the wedding. If I enjoyed their shock. The truth is simpler than revenge. By the time I walked into that room, their opinions didn't matter anymore. The real victory had already happened. The night I realized my father hadn't destroyed my life. He had just revealed how small it was. And sometimes the most valuable gift someone can accidentally give you is the reason to build something far bigger.